Hi, this is Mark from Embedded Pro with the second video in my series investigating the ARM Cortex-M33 core. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your software environment and create your first project. It's going to be a simple project with the LPC55S69 printfing Hello World. I'll also show you how to get all the NXP example source code for the LPC55S69. NXP's software package for these LPC55 microcontrollers is called MCUXpresso. So let's head over to nxp.com and get started downloading software. Well, here I am in my Chrome browser, so let's head on over to NXP and see if we can find some information about this EVK that I'm using. So the board name is LPC55S69 EVK. So here it is, we've found it, and documents and software would be a good place to begin. So NXP take me straight to this getting started page, and it looks like I can see everything that might be of use for me. Getting started guide, there's a schematic, the board design files, that's nice. And here we are with software. Well, to begin with, I want the example software, and I know that that's the MCUXpresso software development kit. So let's go and download that. So here's the main page for the SDK. And look, I want to download it. Well, that takes me to this MCUXpresso SDK builder, and I can specify the SDK that I need, and I have to tell it the development board. So let's go here. It's asking me to log in, just so that it knows what I've been up to. And here we are. Well, I know that it's an SDK for an LPC board, and it's the LPC55S69. Here, confusingly, LPCXpresso 55S69, but that's the board that I need. And let me go and build the SDK that I'm wanting. Well, today I'm using a Mac, so I'd like the software to run on a Mac OS, and I'm going to be using the default toolchain, that's MCUXpresso IDE from NXP. I'm going to add some software, and I always make a point of selecting all of the default software so I get everything. It might make the download a little bit larger, but it means I've got everything that's available. This seems to include Amazon FreeRTOS. Looks like there's a Wi-Fi driver for a Qualcomm chipset, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's go get that. It tells me I can download that straight away. Let's download it. End user license agreement. Yeah, I'll just read that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I agree. And off it goes. It's now downloading. That'll take a little while. Whilst that's downloading, let's go and get hold of the development environment that we'll use. So this is MCUXpresso IDE, and here is the page. Download. So this is a download that I'd like. Looks like it'll be version 11. Let's go and get that. As I said, Mac OS today, so I'm going to download this package. If you're using Linux, there's a debian.bin, or if you're using Windows, there's an executable for Windows 10. Okay, that's going to take a little bit of time to download. I'll see you when that's done. Well, I've now downloaded the SDK and MCUXpresso IDE. I have already installed the IDE, so let's start that running and I'll show you how to connect it to the SDK. So we've started MCUXpresso, and the first thing it does is ask for a location for some temporary files called the workspace. I'm going to put that in this location just here. I call it embed, and let's launch the tool. So the workbench is now up and loading. May take a moment or two. And while that's happening, over here on my desktop is the SDK that I downloaded, and note that it's a zip file, so it's an archive. Well, one of the things that I want to do is to install the SDK into MCUXpresso. And that's as simple as a drag and drop. So I can just find the SDK and I drag and drop it down into this installed SDK panel. Do you want to install it? Yes, I do. And what MCUXpresso IDE has just done is made a connection to the SDK. I'd like to import an SDK example from the package that I've just installed. So I'll use the Import SDK Example wizard from this Quick Start menu. And it shows me a list of SDKs that are already installed. Here's the one that I want to use. It's the MCUXpresso 55S69, so I can select that. And there are two versions, just the board and one with some accelerometers, gyros and magnetometers. I've got the one with just the base board. Next. And here we have a list of all of the examples that are available to me. And just to get started, I'm going to load the demo apps. And the example is just called Hello World. So I checkbox the one that I want to import, and now I can finish. MCUXpresso IDE imports the Hello World example, and here it is open in the Project Explorer. It's opened the hello world.c file for me, and this is the C source module that contains this example. In main, we can see that it gets the board up and running, sorts out some clocks, initializes the necessary pins, configures a project to run from the internal free running high speed and 96 MHz oscillator, sets up printf, and will then printf hello world to the console, and that's it. I can select a project up here in the Project Explorer and then use the Quick Start panel to build the project. Off it goes and builds. Okay, well I can see that the compiler has run and we've made an output file that's got this AXF file extension. That's just a ELF format output file. And now I can load it to the board, and I'm again going to use the Quick Start panel, and down here I'm going to run a debug session. So let's click on that. MCUXpresso is now doing a probe discovery, and it finds that it's got a probe connected called LPC Link 2. And this is the built-in debugger on the MCUXpresso 55S69 board. So let's connect to that. Okay, well, here we are. Look, we can see two Cortex M33 cores, Core 0 and Core 1. And that reminds me that this powerful microcontroller from NXP has got two Cortex M33 cores. This project's going to be built for Core 0, so we'll leave Core 0 selected and hit OK. Well, there's a flash loader running and the flash memory on the microcontroller has been programmed, and the code has run up to the first line of main where we can see the clock attach. Well, let's just do something quick, and we're going to run this project using the resume button up here. F8 will resume and the code runs. Well, the printf in the main prints hello world to the console, and here we can see the built-in console on MCUXpresso IDE, and we see the hello world. The software is now in this while loop, and it's constantly going to be polling the getChar function, looking for a character strike from the keyboard, which it will then echo. So I think if we just put the insertion point here and type some characters on the keyboard, we can see them being typed in and echoed back from the putChar routines. Let's stop the project. And there we are. That's our very first software example for the LPC 55S69 EVK, and it's the hello world. We just learned how to download the MCUXpresso IDE and SDK for the Cortex-M33 core LPC 55S69, and we then used an example project from the SDK to printf from the microcontroller. I'm sure that you'll be able to do this. Let me know by leaving a comment below, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to my channel. Like this video and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time when I'll show you how to use the pin configuration tool from MCUXpresso. Bye.